Hey everyone, my name's Jason, and this is
Ava.
and we're here to talk about Black Panther. Wakanda forever! Getting into it, I'm a big Marvel fan. I love the Marvel movies. Really, there's nothing about the Marvel Disney universe that I have any issues with. Black Panther being based in Africa, they had a lot of music that was African based, and Kendrick Lamar did a lot of the original soundtrack for it. And I thought it turned out really great. Um, Ava, on the other hand, didn't really care for it, but I thought that was pretty good. The cast did a great job. Michael B. Jordan, thank you for Killmonger. It makes me almost forget how bad Fantastic Four was. Um, T'Challa, oh my God. Chadwick Boseman was great. Shuri, she was amazing. She was the comedic relief in this movie, but also her relationship with her brother is kind of what set the mood of the movie. Instead of being a traditional Marvel movie, it was more like a James Bond movie. You know, she was Q to his 007. It was a great combination with the two of them. Her gadgets were awesome.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. What was your favorite gadget of hers?
Um, the shoes.
The
Oh!
sneakers.
Call them
Yeah.
sneakers.
Because you know
Get it?
they make you sneaky. So she was the comedic relief to that, and T'Challa was kind of, he was Black Panther. He was a king. He didn't really have a lot of speaking in it,
But he was a good actor.
but Chadwick Boseman was good. He was great. Um, as far as what we liked about the movie, visually, it looked like Africa. Being previous military had been to Africa, a different section than what Wakanda would traditionally be in, and it was very similar. But Wakanda itself looked like Wakanda did in the books. That's what I imagine, with the combination of traditional African objects mixed with the technology that Shuri was putting in there was great. Um, the entire cast is great. Shuri, and I really like the story. The story, T'Challa is now being crowned king after his father T'Chaka has died, and now he's kind of got to take the reins. It's almost similar to Thor. He's got to prove himself to be king.
Yeah.
So he's trying to find his own way into being the king of Wakanda without basically doing the things that his previous Black Panthers did. So you come to find out in the story that not all of the things that T'Chaka has done as king were kingly acts. They've tried to control Wakanda and keep all of its resources hidden. And through that, people have tried to pull out the resources, much like Claw did in Age of Ultron. He had stolen their vibranium and brought it to Ultron. So there's an issue that I can't really go into without being much of a spoiler, but it definitely feeds into the movie itself. So T'Challa spends a lot of the movie trying to right his father's wrongs or dealing with the sins of his father, as opposed to just making himself a better king. So, the things we didn't like about the movie, for her, it was the music. We've already discussed that. She didn't really care for it. With both of us, together, we both agreed that the post-credit scenes were kind of lacking. The first one was, it was good. It kind of explains the future of Wakanda. But the one at the very, very end was a no duh. Like, well, shit, yeah, we knew this was going on. Why are we seeing this now? And even with the names that they did drop in that, it wouldn't line up with the future movies at all. So it gave you no real insight to Infinity War, which is coming out shortly, or any other Marvel movie coming out. So I was a little pissed off about that one. I'll say that. Um, all in all, let's go to like Rotten Tomatoes again. This is where one of my major arguments and reasons why I started doing this was the critics versus audience scores. It's not too far off, but it's far off enough to note. The critics gave Black Panther 97, and the audience gave it a 77. I agreed. I said about a 7 out of a 10, and Ava said it was about an 8 out of 10. So we came to about a 7.5 vibranium spears on this one. It was a good movie. For a Marvel movie, it didn't put out as much as I thought it would have. The cast was great. The story was really good. One of the problems I do have was the one of the main driving forces behind it is that it was overtly racist. I know it's gonna strike you guys as a little bit, but to hear colonizer and see people just get shouted down and said they were fed just for speaking because of this. It was a little bit too much at some points. And it wasn't even from the villain. You know, these are the actual heroes saying these things. So I don't know how. I get how the villain played into it, Killmonger. I get him. That makes total sense. What I don't get is the rest of the cast joining in on that same ideology. So, you know, leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. I would like to think that I'm not completely invalid in my opinion here. There were some things in our history that obviously were pretty shitty. And, you know, just say what you want to say down below. Let me know how you feel. But, you know, I enjoyed Black Panther. It wasn't my favorite, but it didn't nowhere near my least favorite movie from Marvel and Disney. What are your thoughts about it? Anything?
There was nothing that I really didn't like.
There's nothing you didn't like except the soundtrack?
Yeah. The soundtrack was not the best.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she didn't like the soundtrack, but everything else was amazing.
Yeah.
So, let us know what you think below and leave a comment.
Down below.
Subscribe.